So guys, today a special video about the comparison between Honda NX500 and the Honda Transalp 750. We are not gonna be telling much about the specifications because you have this online everywhere. This is gonna be mostly about the riding experience, about who these bikes are probably meant for, and about are you missing out with any of these bikes, what is gonna be missed out. The power obviously is gonna be a difference between these two, but let's see about the other perspective of these bikes. Today, as usual, we have our Aurelia over here.
Hello.
Aurelia rode with me with these two bikes, and let's see what we both have to say about them. Ergonomy number one, let's sit on them. From the start, I noticed this bike is a bit shorter, meaning my knees are a little bit more bent. And the seat is not too wide like on a Transalp. The handlebar is a little bit lower and it's not so wide as on a Transalp. It's just a little bit shorter in this area, yeah. Which makes for the ride where you get a little bit more front end feel and pressure. Especially good on the asphalt and in the corners. Coupled with 19-inch front wheel, it makes for a nice tire feedback in the corners. We are both similar height, similar size also, around 183 centimeters tall. So, Aurelia, can you put your right leg up? Yeah, so
That's fine like this.
as you can see, the knee bend is a little bit more aggressive on this bike, on the NX, than on the Transalp, and that's because these foot pegs are for the one a little bit lower, and actually not a little bit lower, but the seat is a little bit taller over there, and the foot peg is a little bit more in front, which makes for the more adventurous position, whereas this one has a little bit foot peg pulled reverse, more towards the naked bike position, and the handlebars on the other side over there on the Transalp are taller and wider. Over here, totally contrasty. Over here you have a little bit more pressure on the front wheel, on the handlebar, more sporty for the twisties, for the sporty ride. Over there you will mostly notice the difference with the initial input on the bike. So when you want to drop the bike down, you just do counter steering with the Transalp and the bike immediately listens and drops down. Over here acts more like a sporty bike and requires more input and requires you to handle and wrestle more with your body. Aurelia, how do you feel with that position?
Very comfortable, honestly. Maybe like cruising style, let's call it like that. I mean, I like it. I have weird legs. Maybe it's TMI, I don't know, but I have weird legs and I sit pretty comfortably like this, and that's a big plus for me.
Great. So comfort-wise, how did you feel between these two bikes when you were sitting as a pillion, and also how do you feel now as a rider?
Well, as a pillion, on this bike I had definitely more space. Maybe the stock seat is maybe a bit more comfortable on Transalp. I really now can't tell.
Hold this bike, man. Oh my god, how do you sit as a pillion? I don't ride as a pillion.
See?
I got the cramps. I got the cramps immediately.
I'm scared.
You should be scared, man.
Blink if you're
I don't
scared.
know how to ride as a pillion, man.
Well, you're going good.
This is me as a pillion.
Yep.
Maybe third time in my life sitting over here.
So see, we have space. I mean, you say now.
Yes, as
You're
a
sitting
pillion,
there.
I have space enough between us and this feels comfortable, but you rode, so you probably know what's bigger difference between these two.
Well, yeah, more space, definitely. On this bike, there's more space, but it's not some crazy amount of space. It's maybe like 5, 6, 7 centimeters between us, which is okay, I guess. But definitely nothing
much.
Yeah.
And how was the seat as a pillion rider?
I started saying that on this bike stock seat was maybe a bit more soft or more comfortable. but that's just,
I would say, more stiff. So here we are totally different.
yeah, I mean, basically it's just opinion.
Immediately on this type of road, I noticed this bike is a little bit more stiff, meaning the Transalp deals with this kind of road or just broken asphalt type a bit better because it's softer and the suspension travel is a bit longer. Also the front wheel is 21 inch compared to this one 19. Let's sit on that one over there.
Okay, let's go.
You get down first. I'm scared to get down first, man.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how this is gonna work, but
I don't know how to... Yes, please.
okay.
Oh my god, man. How do you ride behind on these bikes? I don't know. Okay, now sit on that bike. Then I'm gonna sit. So, I was telling to other people how to climb on this. Are you holding it?
Yep.
First, need to ask you. This is the way to go, baby. No cramps. Really, actually, over here I feel also very nice, man. There is space between us.
I mean, there's less space, but there's still plenty.
Yeah, maybe also, yeah, the knees are bent a little bit more over here, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Same thing as a driver
Put your
position.
leg up, man.
Yep. Same thing as a driver position, so a bit more with the angle.
Yes.
And that maybe is tiring, maybe not, depends on the rider.
Yeah, after some time, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna get down, man.
Okay. You didn't crash.
I don't know what to expect, man, from me being a pillion. We're gonna crash these bikes today, I feel like this.
No.
The sound of these bikes, interesting one. 2 cylinders, normal technology, 2 cylinders, 270 crank. Normal technology and the crank. Really, do you know how to fire the bike up?
I mean, if it's not in the gear, probably.
Yeah, but wait for me. First, I'm gonna fire it up. So... fire it up. So, a little bit more sporty, a little bit more revving. When you reach 6,000 RPMs, this thing sounds like a lion, whereas this thing sounds always kind of similar. It opens up the sound later on, but it doesn't have this kind of mixed sound like 270 cranks have. What do you say? What do you prefer?
I mean, I told someone in last video or video before, I don't know, that this thing, it's changing the sound about, you said, 6,000 RPMs, and it's really, it just when you downshift, first you hear the exhaust changing sound, and then you feel that torque coming in. On the NX, you don't have that. I mean, he said you feel something, but I really haven't felt anything. I mean, in terms of changing sound. So basically, flat line.
All the way up.
Yeah, all the way up. Pull is always there when you're in high revs, but that's normal.
All right.
That's all I can say.
That makes perfect sense. I agree with that. Now, vibrations. Both bikes have some vibrations that are not bothersome, and they occur especially in middle to higher revs. The Transalp has them a little bit less. Here they're a little bit more pronounced, which I mentioned in my review video of NX, like a slight downside. I would prefer this bike has less vibrations to complement it with this nice feeling engine. So the vibrations are mostly noticeable on the handlebar itself, but it's not a huge deal, it's not a deal breaker. Me as a rider, I feel on both Hondas some vibrations. On Transalp, I think my subjective feeling is that they are a little bit milder, so not so strong, and they start being present more when you go a little bit higher revs. On the NX, they're a little bit more present, also in some mid revs, also in lower revs, but it's not bothering, but they are more present, and you feel some kind of sensation in the handlebar especially. So both of them are doing very good job in this perspective, and I don't have any problems with them. What about the pillion?
I don't feel anything anywhere. Honestly, there's no vibrations there, there's no vibrations here. I can't feel. All I can say that about whole vibration thing is that probably it's only maybe on the front pegs, because on the rear pegs I again haven't felt anything, but maybe on front pegs and maybe handlebars that he said, and that's the all vibrations you're gonna get. That's all I can say
So
from my position.
Yeah, that says everything about the subjective thing about the vibrations. Many times you will see on the forums people argue about vibrations. Somebody says mine doesn't have, mine has it. So it's very subjective. So always better test the bikes after you see some review like this and see for yourself. Gears and shifting, both bikes amazing, typical Honda. Very soft clutch pull, even softer on the NX. Gears are very accurate, so when you change the gears on both bikes, very good. What happened to me, and happens sometimes, occasionally on the Transalp, is that the bike drops out of a gear. I don't know if it's about me, because this is my first Honda. I always rode, I rode mostly Yamahas and BMWs, Kawasaki's, but honestly I think it's still because of the bike. Sometimes, you know, even between 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, it just drops out of a gear. Maybe it's just because of the way it's constructed, maybe because it's soft. Over here, that doesn't happen. Downshift, upshift, always tactile, always in control. So I like NX really very much, and in this perspective of this bike being priced so much, I think Honda did a really nice job with it. The acceleration of both bikes, let's say like this: the Transalp, of course, being higher powered bike, will give you more acceleration and more torque in down low, and if you go higher in the gears, then the Transalp will tell you I need lower gear, so I need to put it down and then have this power, because at 5,000–6,000 RPMs it pulls like a rocket and sounds like a sport bike more. So Transalp is like this, more like a sporty oriented machine, and 6th gear is mostly meant for cruising above 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour, going highway and lowering fuel consumption. Over here, from 1 to 6, it always pulls. Like even if I put it 6th gear, 40 kilometers per hour, this bike just wants to go. Of course, it will not pull in a very strong manner. It will maybe start, you know, shaking a little bit, but it will not be suffocated. So it still goes. And it's, like I said, very approachable bike because of this, because you don't need to figure out which gear you need to be into. And it also probably makes it a good choice for somebody who is less experienced in this manner. But on the other side, it's better for somebody who doesn't want to think much about where this bike is put, which gear. So it's a really nice experience. So the Transalp has nice torque down low, especially if you go city or twisties. So first, second gear, it pulls really nicely. You don't need, you don't feel like you need more power than that. But if you go like 50, 60, 70 kilometers per hour on a Transalp, you would need to keep it in lower gears to have some strong pull. Over here, the difference is that this bike pulls nicely in all of the gears. Like the Transalp in 6th gear, it will not pull at all until you're somewhere at around 80 kilometers per hour, so maybe 50 miles per hour. Whereas this bike pulls in each gear. You can put it in 6th gear like this, 50–60 kilometers per hour, and it might be shaking a little bit, like you can see it over here, but it's not suffocating. The Transalp needs to be downshifted, so you can go in 5th gear, 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers per hour, but in 6th gear it will not go. And above 5–6,000 RPMs, Transalp pulls very strongly, like a sport bike. Whereas this bike also noticeably pulls stronger, but it cannot be compared just because this difference in the horsepower. Now, how did you feel about this acceleration as a pillion? Do you have anything to mention?
Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, I don't know, I'm trying not to be, but I think that on NX there's smoother gear changing.
Okay.
Maybe. I can't really say with 100% accuracy, but that's what I feel, or that's what I think I feel, but that's my opinion.
All right. And the acceleration?
Well, acceleration, of
right?
course, this one is stronger. Of course, it's this one that pulls better.
Okay, that's interesting. The brakes department. The brakes are really nice on both bikes. So both Transalp and NX have this front brake that is really responsive. On NX, I would say it's responding a bit quicker, so it feels like it's stronger at the beginning of braking. The nosedive is present on both bikes, but they both respond quite quickly and they return to the previous position very fast, so they're not very vallowy. On the other side, the rear brake is better on the Transalp, and it's noticeably better. The Transalp actually has probably one of the best rear brakes in the market. On this bike, it feels like you need to press the rear brake more and deeper in order for it to start to react, like on lots of other bikes, honestly. But on Transalp, it's really confidence inspiring, and you can really use it to settle the bike back to the normal state, let's say after hard braking. So the front brake, when you apply it, it makes the front suspension compress, and with the rear brake you can do decompress and the bike can be leveled and more stable. For example, if you need to correct yourself in the corner. Relia, how was it when we were doing this braking accelerating on both bikes? How can you compare them?
Again, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, I don't know. I try not to be, but on the NX, I don't feel that nosedive. On this one, on Transalp, I feel a bit of nosedive because it's
Longer suspension, is
yes,
taller bike, so
yes, everything
weight.
that he said. So he is basically it is basically just bigger and maybe a bit stronger version of this bike, but this bike, as being compact and smaller, gives the advantage that you don't feel that nosedive or pulling backwards if you're accelerating. Maybe in Twisties, I don't know, we didn't do much, but for me, NX is just like baby Transalp, and it's like more compact version of this bike.
Yeah, probably even more practical, you would say. Lighter to live with.
Yeah, I mean, it's lighter, but 10, 20 kilos,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so on the other side, what I noticed is a difference because the handlebar is lower. Over here also the mirrors are a little bit lower positioned. So the mirrors provide very good vision on both Hondas. Typical Honda, you see lots of things what's happening behind you, around you. It's just over here on Transalp you have them more in your face. Over there you can just see what's happening by moving your eyesight. Over here on the NX they're a little bit lower. So for me, just thinking about safety, you know, I prefer them to be more over here where I'm looking in front. So it's just my gripe, but otherwise, like I said, big mirrors, they're not vibrating, they're not going to intrude your vision, so doing really good job. Looks are very subjective, and I don't want to put any kind of rating on them. It's stupid to do it. I know people, my friends, who said they like NX look more than Transalp. Let's ask our fanboy Relia. Relia, what do you have to say about looks?
I mean, the Transalp is bigger, and that's a big plus for me in terms of being a pillion rider, so I have space. That's all I can say. I'm trying to find some words. I'm trying to find some nice words about it. I mean, I like the front grille.
There's some nice words about it.
I mean, this is definitely a bias thing to say,
You
but
can say it, but of course you have your
Honda
say you
NX,
like NX more.
Honda NX500 is just the sweet spot.
Here we have the winner, baby, black edition.
Yeah, black and white is still better, but that's just how it goes.
Okay, if we skip this bias thing, finishing of the bikes. Even though NX is cheaper, The cockpit kind of feels similar, and also these plastics over here in front around the TFT. The TFT looks kind of same. These plastics over here feel well built. Do you feel like this thing is lacking compared to this thing?
No.
How do you feel
No,
about it?
not at all, not at all. I think that they have same technologies or pretty similar. So basically you can add everything you can. There's nothing that lacks. So maybe for, I don't know, I know that this thing doesn't have cruise control.
Yes, that's true.
But neither does this. And maybe on Africa there's something like that. But between these two, they're not lacking.
This guy is trying so much to put NX in front of Transalp. I was asking you about the finishing in terms of how the bikes were finished. You know, the feel of the plastics of this.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Aluminum
really,
thing. What is this metal thing? So how do you feel about them? Like,
I wasn't paying attention.
is this built
that
cheaper?
or-
Like, do you feel like this is cheaply made, or how do you feel about this?
I really can't tell. I mean, I never paid much attention about it.
Of course, because he's a fanboy.
So,
So, yeah, like Relia said, like even though this is cheaper, I think it's really nicely made. Yeah, also this is the metal over here. The tank is metal,
Yeah.
like on a Transalp. So both bikes amazingly done. I don't have anything wrong to say about them. In the Twisties, this bike feels very stable, and you get lots of feedback from the front tire. So both Transalp and NX feel like they're plugged on a rail in the corner. They don't feel out of control at all. This bike tends to provide a little bit more feedback from the front tire, like what's happening in the corner when you want to lean more maybe. Whereas the Transalp tends to lean in quickly, so faster than this bike, because the handlebar is taller and it's a bit wider. So when you want to do these changes, the Transalp will do it faster. So for example, over here I'm trying to destabilize the bike or to lean it over by pushing my handlebar, and it will not be as on a Transalp. As you can see, it just goes left, right, but on a Transalp it will be really leaning from side to side. So depends on what you prefer. This acts more like a sporty bike, more like a naked bike, and that acts more like a proper adventure bike. Cruising, low speed, smoothness, both bikes are really nice. Over here you have more jerkiness, but it's not, again, bothering. You'll just notice it more, especially in sport mode. If you put it, you want to cruise, you put in some gear, like lower gear or higher gear, doesn't matter. The lower you go, the more jerkiness you will get, and the bike will behave a little bit on and off. Over here, it's also present, but almost not present. So on NX, it's so smooth, you barely feel and sense this kind of feeling. And also, what you say as a pillion.
definitely agree with you.
You agree with me, because you told me before you didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I think I may be, crazy about some things, vibrations, the on and off feeling. Like, we'll ask later about the friend Ivan who also test rode bikes. Maybe he will have a different perspective. Maybe I'm crazy about going in so much details, man.
Maybe, but we're going into details to cover it all.
To cover it all, yes, that's right. Suspension, big plus on this NX. I was surprised how it handles any kind of road condition, be it off-roadish, be it road, be it bad road, any speed. This bike, for its price, amazing. Also 2-up, amazing. Transalp on the other side has softer suspension, even better on some rough terrains, provides very good control also in turns, but this again provides a little bit maybe more feeling in the corners because of this smaller wheel, because of this a lower center of mass. It's a little bit lower to the ground, so this bike generally performs amazing with its suspension, and this one also here is more present, especially if you put somebody behind. You would need to tighten that preload much because the bike will start being a little bit wobbly. This is amazingly the stock preload. I did not want to touch it purposely to see how it performs from the stock even though of course you should tighten the preload when you ride with somebody like I am right now. But for example, if I put Aurelia, my pillion, on the Transalp, on the stock suspension settings, preload settings, it will drop a lot because the suspension is softer and it's longer, and the bike will not feel as controllable. But when you tighten it by 3 settings up, that bike of course performs amazingly. Now this bike in a stock form, stock preload settings, even though I have Aurelia behind, flawless, amazing. And if you tighten it, it will be even better. So if you consider two-up riding, again, for me, shockingly, they both are spacious. They don't have kind of limitation that you feel like, oh, here on NX I'm feeling you know, Pillion's legs are over here, or he's too close to me. It's not like that. The bike handles really nice in terms of the agility, in terms of the control. So what do you have to say about this?
Definitely what you say. So basically on the NX we just sat and run and ride. So no preloads, nothing necessary.
And it still went good.
Yeah, and that was not just good, it was pretty awesome, especially for me as a pillion rider that I feel maybe more of road hazards, maybe not, I don't know. But on this thing I feel, I won't say much more, but definitely a bit more, let's say conservatively a bit more.
Price, so 8,000, 11,300. Let's look,
it says it all.
Yes, it says it all, but let's say for example you have this 11,300. Would you get this one and put accessories in it for this price of 11,300, or would you take this one without anything?
I mean, it's no brainer.
And
you know, for like 3,000 euros, whatever,
plus, yeah.
you can add the front grille, you can add cases, you can add everything.
And go to this.
You can buy the bike, buy accessories, put it all, and just go to the beach.
To Spain, baby.
Yeah,
Makes
just
sense.
go to the beach.
If I was younger, 10 years, I would say different story. But this guy has potential, man. Very smart way of thinking. Like, because I mostly ride with my wife, I plan to go long distances with lots of luggage. I still like to have this 92 horsepower. That's true. But I would not like be unhappy in having the bike like this and put the luggage on it and go. If you're very heavy kind of rider and pillion, then probably you're better getting something like this. But very practical bike indeed. So it's very questionable what you should do. As a conclusion, that covers actually some of my conclusion. If you want to get the bike that's not gonna be very aggressive, very sporty, but you want to enjoy, to look around, to travel longer, and to have money in your pocket, maybe put some accessories on it as well. You're conscious about the price of the gas, you want to save because nowadays we have these crazy prices everywhere, then definitely you can go NX, even though if you go two-up riding. If you're particularly very heavy and for example you want some more performance out of it and you want more off-road capability but still not on a pro level, like if you have some lightweight off-road bike, then Transalp is better option probably. So it's not so simple if you don't look only the specifications and the power figures. If you are mindful about your purchase, it becomes a little bit tougher. So that would be my conclusion in short. Reja, what do you have to say as a conclusion?
Well, again, maybe I'm biased, but the thing is, everything Transalp can do, NX does it as well. Maybe not on the same level, but it just turns the notch for a bit. Not much, but a bit. So maybe I'd say that this is like, let's say 10 out of 10, this is 9 out of 10, but the price dictates it all. I mean, the difference of what, 300 is like...
Yes.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal if you're buying a new bike.
I must agree with that. So that would be it from both of us. And now we're gonna enter another stage, encore, where you're gonna give your microphone to our cameraman. Our cameraman is our Stig, our professional rider who tried and rode both bikes. It's Ivan. Ivan, our brother, is the owner of the NX, as we showed in the previous video. Ivan, can you tell us something about your experience with your bike? How do you like it so far?
So as for the riding experience, they're pretty much similar. The only bigger difference that I found is in power. Basically, in acceleration about 4,000, 5,000 RPMs, it's quite more powerful than NX500.
So do you feel anything like in terms of the handling, in terms of the suspension?
In terms of suspension, maybe the NX is softer on that side. And as for the handling, you can basically lean over the bike or the Transalp much more easier than on the NX500, for example.
Okay, that's cool. About the actual riding position, the seat position, you said like...
You maybe sit a bit more upright on the Transalp than on the NX500, mainly because the position for the rear brake and the gear lever is backwards oriented than on the Transalp, which is in front. So maybe you're leaned a bit more forward than on the Transalp.
Okay, so same question to you as for the Reya. If you had this money to buy the Transalp, would you get it, or would you accessorize your bike and maybe have the rest money for your fuel and trips?
That's a tough question.
But also we need to take in consideration the experience, and also this is your first bike,
First bike,
right?
yeah.
So would you get it as a first bike, the Transalp?
For the first bike, definitely no.
So
Maybe
now after some time?
Maybe I will go for NC750 if I'm going for my first bike for the full A license, but it definitely will be the first option, NX500.
Okay, and now after some time you're riding it, how many kilometers you passed with it?
For this season around 7,000, maybe a bit more.
That's nice. So now would you like do the first question that I asked you about the getting Transalp and or getting NX and accessorizing?
NX. It should be NX.
It should be NX. What is the reasoning behind this? Like why are you thinking like this?
Well, basically for the price difference, as you mentioned, you can basically get the same experience as a Transalp. Yeah,
if you wanted to go rough
because
terrains, for example, if you wanted to go off-road more, would you still get NX?
No, I would probably go for a Transalp, mainly because of the spoke wheels. Because you have aluminum cast ones on the NX500.
Yes, that's true. So, as a conclusion, what would you say, and what would you say to somebody who wants to get these bikes? Like, what would your advice be?
Well, if you're looking for something that you will use daily, if something is more practical, then I would suggest NX500. If you're looking to go maybe, I don't know, around 60% on the road and around 40% off-road, then I should definitely go with Transalp.
All right, and if you wanted to go pillion, would you still get NX?
Well, I didn't try to ride as a pillion Transalp, so I don't know, I don't have any experience with it, but as you said, it'll probably be the same.
Yep. Okay, so that's it from all of us. Very thankful for you watching this video. Hopefully we helped you find any information useful. Ivan, Aurelia, and me signing out. Bye bye, guys.